Have you ever had anybody question the integrity of your business? Maybe they called it illegitimate, maybe they call it a scam, or maybe they called it a... In this video, I'm going to share with you some strategy on how to handle this situation if it comes up in your business and how to hopefully turn your prospect around so that they see the situation in a better light and on a more positive note in what you are working on, because it is probably an amazing business. So stay tuned. My name is Tanya Aliza and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers create success faster while most importantly designing a life that you love. So if you're new here, consider subscribing because I post a brand new episode every single week with a brand new resource that you can use in your business. So let's talk about if somebody views what you're doing as illegitimate, maybe a scam if you're in network marketing. This really stems from somebody who is just ignorant and they don't understand yet what's going on. All right. They don't understand direct sales. They might not understand network marketing because let's just face it, we were never taught that this was an industry or a type of business in school, right? Now, before I show you how to handle it, I want to help you even eliminate it before it even comes up. So if you want to avoid this from happening, my suggestion is to have unwavering confidence in what it is that you are sharing, promoting, or selling. That is going to help you hands down beyond anything that I can teach you in this video is confidence, okay? So get familiar with the product or service that you're representing. Use it, implement it, create your own story and testimony with it, and create your confidence with what it is that you're doing. If you enter into a business presentation and you're not too sure and you're kind of timid around the whole presentation, your prospect is going to sense that as weakness, and it's going to be much easier for them to make their own analogy or own predicament of what it is that you're doing. All right. So you want to make sure that you are solid and confident, and that will help this entire thing from even coming up. Now, what if it still comes up? What do you do? So you share your presentation with somebody, you're really excited, and they're like, hey, this looks like a scam. Like, what do you do? That's really, really tough on the ego, right? And it really hurts us because we're like, we want to make sure that we're doing legitimate things. We want people to view us as a credible, resource, right? And so this can really, really hurt your ego. I totally get it. But number one, you've got to know that you're not in a pyramid scam or a scam or anything like that, right? So how do you handle it if it comes up? So it's important for you to understand what a pyramid is, right? So what is a pyramid scam? What is a definition of a pyramid scam? The definition of a pyramid scheme or scam, or however you want to classify it, is an exchange of money without a product or service, okay? So if you are in a business where you, for exchange of money, share a product or service that somebody can sign up and use, then you are not in a pyramid scam. And for somebody to tell you that they are is just pure ignorance and they just don't know any better. So number one, you've got to know what a pyramid scheme or scam is so you know how to handle it. So your prospect says to you, I don't know about this. It sounds like a scam, all right? You want to know where they're coming from and you don't want to be defensive, okay? So you don't want to like defend it and start like, harping like, oh my gosh, you're in a scam because you work for, somebody and they're at the top and you're the, you don't want to go into any of that, all right? You just want to be professional and find out where they're coming from. So I always like to ask the question, how do you mean? All right. So if they're like, well, this sounds like a pyramid, how do you mean? And then they're going to explain where they're coming from. Or I'll even say, well, what's a pyramid scheme? Because I want to find out what they know about a pyramid scheme. And normally they don't actually really know what a pyramid scheme is. They're going to start jumbling off a statement that has nothing to do with what a pyramid scheme is. And then I'll ask them and I'll say, okay, well, that's quite interesting that that's how you view what a pyramid scheme is. But do you actually know what the real definition of a pyramid scheme is? And you might need to educate them at this point, right? So you can educate them in a really nice way and you can just say, you know what? I appreciate you sharing that with me. By you sharing that with me, it actually helps me to understand that you're probably concerned about my well-being, and I want to thank you for that. By the way, do you really know what a pyramid scheme is? And then you can go on to educate them and say, look, from what I know and what I've done my research on is a pyramid scheme is actually illegal, and it's an exchange of products, or it's an exchange of money without products or services involved. And we actually have a product and we have a service, whatever the case might be for you. And we've actually been in business for X number of years. And then I would ask a question and I would say, so don't you think if we were illegal or if we were a pyramid scheme, that we would be shut down by now? all right? And you want to actually ask them that question so that they have to answer their own question and kind of like rethink what they just asked you, or rethink what they were actually initially thinking. And sometimes, depending on the prospect, you might want to educate them a little bit further on the direct selling industry. They might need some more education, and there's some good tools in that can help you do that. But we were never raised to, know about the direct selling industry. Did you know that a real estate firm, the broker of that real estate firm or investment firm, there's a broker who owns the firm, and then they go and recruit, other people to work for them, and they keep a cut of all of that business. It's almost exactly the same as a direct selling model, except for, it's not labeled direct sales or multi-level marketing. It happens to be labeled as a real estate brokerage or an investment brokerage. But essentially, it's a very, very, very similar model. And then the next thing that you want to do after you educate them and just say, well, don't you think that if we were illegal or illegitimate of any kind, we would be shut down by now? And then, let them answer that. And then you want to transition into a closing statement or a closing phrase. It's really important to keep that process of your presentation going. And so you want to transition and say, well, now that we know that it is a legitimate business model and, all is good and, the company's thriving, would there be anything else you need to know before we get you started? Would there be anything else you need to know before we get you rocking and rolling? You can try this out with us. We can have some fun together, and I can help you hit some of those goals that you told me that you wanted to hit. So it's really important that you have that transitional closing phrase so you can complete the process of your presentation. It's one thing to overcome the objection and handle it and educate your prospects, but it's another thing to keep that flow going into a close or into a new teammate or a sale or whatever it might be that you're doing. So let's recap the steps, okay? So you want to ask them, what do they mean? So find out where their head is at. The next thing that you want to do is educate them a little bit. The next thing that you want to do is ask them the question, so don't you think if we were an illegitimate business or a pyramid scheme or something like that, that we would be shut down? And then you want to have them answer that and then move them into the transitional closing phrase. Is there anything else you need to know before we get you started, before we get you rocking and rolling with us? So those are the elements. Never be argumentative, never battle them, never go back and forth. You don't really need to. And at the end of the day, if somebody is not open to what it is that you're doing and they just can't get past the block that they've created for whatever reason, then move on to the next prospect. It is totally fine. You don't need any one person. And in every episode of Tanya Aliza TV, I like to equip you with a very awesome resource that you can use and implement in your business and start seeing results with fast. Now today, since we're talking about objection handling and how to handle one of the many that we might come up with in our network marketing career that we might need to know how to handle, I've got a really, really cool downloadable resource in audio for you called Beyond Objections. Now, if you'd like to learn more about my Beyond Objections, I actually train you and teach you how to handle the 10 most common objections that you will get in network marketing. I give you an audio training. I give you a cheat sheet that you can download and implement and use in your business as well. And you can go and learn more about that on my blog at tanyaaliza.com/56 download. The number 56 download. We'll leave a link in the description box above or below this video for you. You can go there. It'll take you to this blog post, and right underneath this video, there'll be a big yellow button that you can click, and you can learn more about getting my Beyond Objections audio training and cheat sheet for you and your business. Question of the week. Have you ever gotten this objection or question in your business? Is this an illegitimate business model? Is this a scam? Is it a pyramid scheme? Whatever the case may be. If you have, how are you currently handling it that's helping you in your business? If you wouldn't mind, share below in the comment section below and let me know how you're currently handling it. You might have some good tips and strategy that we'd like to learn about here inside the community. So share in the comment section. I'd love to hear how you're doing it. And for more resources and the resource that we put together with this episode called Beyond Objections for you, head over to the blog at tanyaaliza.com/56 download. We've got a bunch of cool stuff for you over there, and we release a new episode and training resource for you every single week here. If you love this video, I sure hope you did, please share it via one of the share links around, social share links around this video, and share it with your friends and your teammates as well. We will see you on the next episode of Tanya Aliza TV.